What's up, guys?
I think it's some pretty spectacular performances tonight. I guess just overall your thoughts on the night as a whole, and of course just starting the season off once again.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the season, and we were trending number 1 in the United States today and number 7 worldwide on the show. So, back in the day when we had this thing never trended. Now, I mean, the show is not only I say it all the time, the best show on television, the best way to spend a Tuesday night. But it's also, obviously, I was saying today I did a media tour, and when you look at our board of all the fights that are coming up from Perth all the way to December, most of the board is blue. It's all Contender Series kids. And I could literally do this every Tuesday, 52 weeks a year. I love this show.
What's the name that you walk away from tonight, like you're going to be thinking about when you leave, talking about tomorrow? I mean, was there anybody that stood out to you the most, so you're like head and shoulders above?
Kavanaugh. You could go right through. You could go Kavanaugh, you could go Delgado, and then I would say, Malik. I mean, all those guys look, and Schultz. Fucking two stud athletes who both wanted it, and, you got a Division I wrestler and then a Division III 3-time All-American. It was a badass fight. Yeah. I loved when you get guys in there that are in their prime, everything's on the line, and you could tell they both want it so bad, and they're both digging deep, and you get to that point where you've never been pushed that hard. You could tell that the big boy has never been pushed that hard. He got tested tonight, and like I said, he passed the test.
I'm curious about that one because in the main event with Malik, he did look great. It's clear he's got the physical tools, right? But it seems like very early in his career, like you said, hadn't been tested. Did that concern you at all to say, let's put this guy into the UFC right now?
No, I think that, if you look at him, right, if you look at what he's done, what he's accomplished, and right now he's 6-0. Tonight was the biggest fight of his night. Tonight was the big stage. And I guarantee both these guys are stud athletes. I guarantee you burn a lot of nervous energy, and you get in there, and now you've done it. Now the next one he's got to get under his belt is he'll be on a prelim of one of the cards, and he'll get his first UFC fight under his belt, and then he's on his way. Nice. I mean, the guy's 26 years old. He's undefeated. If not now, when? We're gonna wait 2 years and bring him in when he's 29? Nah. It's time. It's time or it's not time. He is or he is not. That's up to him.
I love it. All right, Kavanaugh, Delgado, those were pretty much automatics. I think we all knew that. What got you over the hump with Lopez? Seemed like we were all kind of iffy on that one.
So I don't disagree with you. I literally said to both the matchmakers, Sean and Mick, I said, this guy wants to quit right now. Make him quit. Put the pressure on him. Go, as soon as I said it, he hit him with that knee to the body and then started going to his body. And I was like, all right, he did it. He's got a good story. Now he's 13-1. If not now, never for this kid. I'm going to give him the shot. If I didn't pick him and the other kid, nobody would say, I don't disagree. But I don't know. I like the kid's story. Called his wife. He's crying. I made it in the UFC. He's got to get back in the gym and work on some stuff. He's got to work on his conditioning, and he definitely needs to get a little more killer instinct and go after it. Because once he gets, you guys know, I'm preaching to the preachers here. Once you get in here, these are all killers here, man. So he's going to get his opportunity. Now it's up to him.
Nice. A couple overall questions. You talked about how successful the show is right now. We know you're talking about rights deals and that sort of thing. You got The Ultimate Fighter wrapping up right now. When this new deal comes in place, does The Ultimate Fighter, Dana White's Contender Series, does that go with the UFC, or do you see situations where they end up in different places? How do you see the future?
The UFC could end up in different places. I mean, we could be like football and end up on a bunch of different networks between, pay-per-views, fight nights, Contender Series, tough. Who knows how it's all going to play out because, the entire landscape is changing in the television world and the rights deals. But, this could end up anywhere. But I can guarantee you it will end up somewhere.
100%. The UFC Apex here, very clearly under construction outside as we roll in. I guess, what can you update us on, the plans? And also, we've heard rumors that maybe it's going to have to close for a while because so much work is being done here. What is the future of the Apex?
Yeah, we're doing a $20 million expansion here. We're going to invest a lot of money in this place. And we got some pretty big announcements coming up in the next 6 months. So it'll all sort of make sense on what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Sounds good. Last thing I'll ask you, obviously a big pay-per-view this weekend as well. What can you tell us about the expectations for this title fight, the bitter rivalry finally coming to a close, early reports of tension down there, I guess. Just what can you tell us about this weekend?
Yeah, I'm sure. Big fight. Every time guys hate each other like this, the fight usually ends up sucking. But I have a really good feeling this one won't. You're talking about, if you look at what Israel Adesanya has achieved in his life, not just here, but in kickboxing too. And Dricus, he brings it, man. He comes. And you have one of these situations where both guys, everything is on the line, especially because they dislike each other so much. And if he can beat Izzy and bring that belt back to South Africa, obviously, we'll do an event there. And if Izzy can retain and win the title, it's huge for him and his legacy. Not retain, but regain.
Dana, why do you think this format has been more successful than the other ones in terms of producing quality talent?
Well, it hasn't. I wouldn't say that it's just newer. I mean, The Ultimate Fighter produced everybody, and in the early days of the UFC from 2005 to 16. You know what I mean? And then we started this, just a new format, different. I mean, same thing with Looking for a Fight. I'm too fucking busy to go out and do Looking for a Fight as much as I used to. But, if you look at Marab came off Looking for a Fight. So they're all different in their own ways. The Ultimate Fighter, you get to, it's such a pressure cooker, and you get to learn more about the guys, who they are, who you like, who you don't like. And it's literally the ultimate media training for these guys. Have cameras in their faces for 6-7 weeks, and they become comfortable around them, and it becomes normal to them. Away from home, This one, what I love about this is it's such a different style because it's the best unsigned guys in the world. They know what to expect. Now, I'm not just looking for the win. I'm looking for people that are special. You got to come in and I don't look at I don't see this shit till I walk. Tonight, I come in and this is right in front of me. I'm like, oh, this guy's this, that. And I don't care about any of this, right? I care about it after you win and you impress me. Then it means something. So it's a very unique experience, not just for them, but for us and for the people watching.
Have you ever seen a more violent knockout? Because the kid was on the ground than Kavanaugh's. That kid was on the ground a long time, and it was kind of scary there for a while.
Yeah, no, that was vicious. One of the nastiest knockouts we've ever seen on the show, and we've seen some shit on this show. But, yeah. And, again, that kid's no slouch either. It's not like you saw this vicious knockout against the can that you threw in there against somebody that's on the rise. That was a real fight, two real guys. I'm excited to see what Kavanaugh does in the UFC.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
I've been seeing a lot of fighters posting that they want to be on the John Jones card in November. I'm just curious if you can update if there is a John Jones card in November that we don't
There's
know
not
about
yet, but there will be. There's not yet, and yeah, we were literally talking about that today. We'll start building that card soon.
I saw that you and Conor were both in Sturgis. I'm wondering if you guys met at all and talked about the potential of his fight as well?
We talked, yeah. We talked. We didn't meet up, but we talked. And yeah, he wants to fight, so we'll figure it out.
Soon? By the end
Not
of
this year.
year?
He won't fight this year.
And then just one more about the construction. I know you said there's an announcement coming, but do you anticipate maybe during the time that it's closed, we could see fight night cards here in Vegas, but at other locations like Durango or
I don't know if
Fontainebleau?
it's true that it's closing. I don't know how that's going to work out, but yeah, I don't know enough about that. Okay. But you know, we're open to traveling around to many different places now. More open than I was a couple years ago.
Right. Thank you.
Dana, you told Jim Rome that Sean Strickland's getting the next crack at the title. So where does that leave Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev?
Well, what I was saying is he's ranked number 1 in the world. He deserves the fight if that happens. But, you never know what can happen, how these fights could play out. But what I did say on Jim Rome is we got a lot of fun things happening in the middleweight division coming into 25.
So it's basically just timing, who looks the best, stuff like that.
Yeah, Strickland deserves it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dana, over here. I saw you were pretty excited after the Delgado performance. I saw you stood up and went over to congratulate him. What did you say to Jose Delgado after you got the win?
Well, I mean, when you see me get up and walk somewhere to go talk to somebody, I was really blown away and impressed by you, whether you won or lost. I don't remember exactly what I said, but when I do that, I tell the kids, unbelievable. I mean, there's a couple of these fights that you could take both guys and you wouldn't be disappointed. And the guys that lose fights like that, get back in the gym, get your shit together, start training. You definitely got a future in the UFC. One of these guys could get back, get a win under their belt in another show, and when somebody falls out, Sean or Mick could end up calling them. We saw a couple of those guys tonight.
I was going to say, that was going to lead me right into my next one. I saw you keep walking straight down. Did you go say something to Ernie Juarez? Did you console him or something after that? Because, it was a good fight.
Which one?
Ernie Juarez, the one who lost to
Yeah.
Delgado. Did you speak to him? Because I saw you heading that.
I did. Yeah, I said, you got nothing to be bummed out about, man. Yeah, you didn't get the win tonight, but sometimes in losing you win. You know what I mean? And that was definitely the case with him and the main event. Both guys showed. This is about, don't come in here and fucking run around, try to, who are you? What do you got? Show us who you have. The whole world's watching you tonight. We trended number 1 in the United States and number 7 worldwide. Literally, the world is watching you. Who are you? Show us. Nobody just wants to see guys fucking shoot and push against the cage and try to win. You're obviously talented enough to be here. Show us what you got. Whether you win or lose, you can show us who you are. And you do that in losing sometimes, too. And that's why when you see me get up and a guy lost, I'm fucking impressed.
That also leads me right into my next one again. For you, from your point of view, how was that momentum shift in the night when we got to that 4th fight after seeing the 3 finishes in a row?
How did what? How
was a momentum shift from your point of view after seeing 3 finishes into going into the 4th fight of the night?
I think it's what it is. It's not for me. It's for the fighters. If the fighters are in back and you're watching these performances and you're like, Jesus Christ, I got to, you watch the first fight with Kavanaugh. Shit, I'm next. I got to go. How do I beat this, right? The pressure mounts for the fighters. They saw what happened, and now they got to go out there and perform. But if Sean and Mick brought you in here and are giving you this opportunity, especially when you look at Delgado, right? This guy came in, what was it, 11 days notice. He came in on 11 days notice, and look at the way he fought tonight. And Ernie, too. That's another kid that looked really good. He looked good. He looked tough. And, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but
yeah, you did. Yeah, and
that's my answer.
Last one for me, one from outside. And I saw you mention how the rivalries usually end up being not so good inside the fight. I guess people felt that way with the Makaev-Kopp fight back in England, and we all know what happened with Makaev after. But he went out and said that he'd fight for free to get back in the UFC since it was his dream. Did he ever go up to you guys and actually talk about stuff like that?
Of course, nobody's going to fight for free. People can talk all
Yeah,
the
I
shit.
figured.
People can talk all the shit they want about how we pay, but nobody's fighting for free. It is what it is. I always say this, that this is an opportunity to be here and to perform in front of the entire world. And, he's just a guy that did everything wrong and pissed these guys off. I wasn't involved in any of the stuff that happened with him, but, the matchmakers and Hunter were, and they weren't happy with him. They weren't happy with the way he acted. They weren't happy with a lot of things he did and said. And, I guess you can look back now and regret it, but you did it. You did it, and you put yourself in this position.
Thank you.
Yep. Good? Have a good night.